This video is for those who are still deciding their pre-med course or for those who are constantly being asked what the best pre-med course is. And please, can you please stay until the end of this video because I'm about to ask you for a very, very big favor. As a spoiler, okay, it's gonna be your chance to be featured in my channel. Gusto nyo ba yun? Or nahihiya kayo? Anyway, I came up with this list of the four main questions you have to ask yourself in order to arrive at the best decision for you. And if you're new here, my name is Aura. I'm a doctor from the Philippines and I made this channel for aspiring doctors. Aspiring doctors who need to decide on their pre-med course. Okay, let's do it. What are these four questions? Number one, will this course help me get accepted into med school? And number two, if I'm already in med school, will this course still help me adjust or even excel? Number three is, will I find this course interesting or enjoyable? And number four, is this course a practical choice? So there are still a lot of things that you have to consider under each question. So that's what we're going to discuss now. So for number one, you want a pre-med course that will help you get accepted into med school, right? So the first question, which no one talks about, is how will your final GPA be determined in that pre-med course? Like, are there many factors that can pull your grade up so that you can have a high GPA? Or are there many factors that can pull your grade down, especially factors that are out of your control? Are you distracted by my swiveling? I'm sorry. And to give you an example, some courses mostly have objective evaluations like multiple choice exams, identifications, written exams, that when you study, then you will get a high score, you can get your goal GPA. But some courses are graded subjectively, either by their peers, by their profs, or their clinical instructors, and there's not a lot of things that you can do to make sure that you can have your goal grade. So you have to think about that. And also, you're going to want to ask if it's normal or common for students in their course to graduate with honors. Like, is it doable for the very dedicated students to become a laude? Or is it a rare occurrence because the standards are just very high? Because for med school applications, your TOR, your transcript of records, your final grade point average, and your laude or your academic distinctions are kind of very important. Not kind of, they are the most important. Okay? So in summary, grades-wise, will you be able to get your goal grade if you take that course? Okay? Next is NMAT, of course, NMAT. You also want a high NMAT score, and some pre-meds just prepare you better for NMAT compared to others. So if that's important to you, then ask that question as well. Especially for part 2 of NMAT, because part 1 is just like an IQ test, but part 2, it covers bio, physics, social sciences, and chemistry. And some courses cover those topics sufficiently that you don't need additional review classes or you don't need to worry about them so much compared to the others. So you have to ask yourself, will you be able to get your goal NMAT score with the help of your pre-med course? There. So aside from your GPA, your honors, and your NMAT score, some med schools also look at your list of extracurricular activities, especially those that are relevant to the future practice of medicine, activities that kind of confirm your dedication and interest to the field. So ask if there are extracurricular activities available in your pre-med course that you can do to help you stand out during the interviews or the application process. So, for example, some courses will have very good student orgs with projects that will give you early exposure to patients, to hospital work, even to social civic activities and community involvement. Basically, is it possible for you to involve yourself in any relevant non-academic activity in your pre-med course that you can use to stand out in your med school interviews? I know that kind of sounds like bad advice, that you're only going to do those extracurriculars to prove that you're a competent, competitive applicant. But that's just how it is. So, moving forward, those are the ways that your pre-med course can help you get accepted into med school. So what if you're already in med school? Congrats! Now, is your pre-med course still useful? Of course, you want to pick a course that can help you adjust better and maybe even thrive and excel in med school. So I guess the thing you have to ask is, will your pre-med course cover the basic medical subjects in med school? This is a list of those basic subjects taken in first and second year. So it's good to have a strong foundation already, because it's so hard to adjust during first and second year, and you're gonna want to have all the help you can get. But if not that, then maybe you can ask yourself if your course, your pre-med course, will cover the clinical subjects already, give you hospital exposure, give you patient experience. Those are also super helpful, especially in third year and fourth year med. So this is the list of the clinical subjects that you are going to cover. So it's good, it will be super helpful if these are already introduced to you as early as pre-med. And likewise, aside from the prior knowledge, you can also get specific skills and experiences in pre-med that you can use in med school. For example, you'll notice that some are already good with cadaver dissection, some have no idea how to operate a microscope, while some are very good when it comes to lab experiments, and they know how to write the research paper, they know how to do the statistical analysis. Some have very good oral and written communication skills, presentation skills, especially academic papers. Some are just natural with patients. They have very good patient communication and education skills. They can establish rapport easily. They know how to do the bedside procedures. They know how to administer clinical care. They are comfortable handling the medical equipment. They're not clueless as to how things in the hospital work. Those are just some of the skills that can help you in med school that you can develop as early as pre-med, depending on which course you pick. And lastly, especially for those who already have a specialty in mind after med school, maybe also try to ask around if there's any pre-med course that is specifically helpful or ideal for the specialty you're eyeing. And for me, the answer to this is mostly no. I can't think of a lot of pre-med courses that are specifically designed for a particular specialty, but there are some. So I think only very few, but we'll find out in the next videos. Again, this is a series, so yeah. Anyway, next is, and I think this is the hardest to answer. In picking a pre-med, you have to ask yourself, will you find this course interesting? Will you enjoy it? Will you love studying it? Will you be inspired to move forward using what you learned? And I'm saying this because a lot of students pick a pre-med course that's just not very motivating for them, so they end up not going to med school anymore. Or because they don't love what they're studying, then they end up with not so stellar grades, which makes it less likely for them to get into their dream med school or even go to med school at all. Yeah, so it's also important to ask what kind of people will enjoy this course, or what kind of people should definitely not take this course. Sometimes it depends on your interest, but also sometimes on your personality or your own strengths and weaknesses. Again, this is very hard to answer, but I already made a whole video, this one again. I included very practical, actionable tips here to help you decide how to pick a course that is going to be interesting for you. And lastly, the practical considerations. This other video is about that too. Not just for picking your course, but also your school. But just to emphasize again, you're going to want to ask how many years it typically takes to finish that pre-med course. Also, if you have to take any additional prerequisite units outside your curriculum to become eligible for med school, yeah, that's an added effort and expense for you, so it's good to know early on. Number 3, especially for those who are worried about their finances, you must ask if your tuition fee in that pre-med course is relatively more expensive than most other pre-med courses. Like, are there a lot of additional course-specific expenses that you have to worry about? And 4th, which is very important, in case you decide to not proceed to med school anymore, will you have a backup plan? Because practically speaking, even though you're super determined to become a doctor, not everything is under your control. Things might change, we don't know. So it's good to have a backup plan. Yeah, you also want to ask what other alternative careers are possible for graduates of your pre-med course who decide not to go to med school, and if you like those alternative careers, if you see yourself working those jobs. So yeah, those are the 4 main questions with a lot of sub questions. And those are the things that I want to discuss about each and every course possible. But I can only talk about BS Bio, and I know you guys find me so biased towards my course already because in all my other videos, like this one and this one, I keep on saying why BS Bio is like the best pre-med course, but I know it's not. For a lot of people, it's not, and I get that. BS Bio definitely does not meet the criteria, all the criteria that I listed down. So, this is the time for me to ask a favor from you guys. I came up with a survey form including all the things, the factors that I just discussed, and I need you to answer it for me. Ideally, this survey is for those who are already done with pre-med and med school, so they have a whole perspective already. But even if you're just a graduating pre-med student, as long as you have a lot of things to share about your course and you can answer most of my questions, then please answer the survey. And if you're only like a high school student, you want to decide, and you know someone who might help us, then please let them know about the survey. Visit the link in the description box. It will take you to my website wherein I will be getting your email address, because I only want to send out this survey form to those who are super determined to help, those who are qualified. So it's not for everyone, but please spread the word that this is a thing, this is going to be a thing. I plan to create a series of videos featuring all the different courses, and I'm going to use your answers in the survey form heavily. And also for those who are super game to help, then please say yes to my second favor. I'm looking for people to interview on my channel, particularly for this series. We're gonna do it via video chat only. I want to make it as convenient as possible for the both of us. These are already the guide questions, and you can add more, of course, based on your own experience. I want to use my existing platform that can reach a lot of students already to help spread the word about all the other pre-med choices possible. Please say yes. Don't be shy. Don't ignore this request. If I have ever helped you in any way before, then this is your chance to pay it forward. You can help other students as well. I can't answer everything. I can't answer for everyone. But my platform is open. I am so looking forward to meeting you, to chatting with you guys, to hearing from your survey responses. Please, let's make this happen for the Filipino students who want to become doctors but first have to decide on what pre-med course they have to take. Okay? Thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My new handle is @AuraZirconMD. And I'll see you again next time. Bye!